innovative content, global audience.
Hello, viewers. Good morning to you. Yes, today I don't know whether we should be happy, whether it's a mixed feeling, or we should be sad. Yes, today we'll talk about June 12th, Democracy Day in Nigeria. How are you feeling today? Are you happy today? Do you feel is worth celebrating? Do you think there is something significant about June 12th? Do you think is what we should be talking about? Do you think that truly we have democracy, or do you think that from that time of independence till now, how would you rate our democracy so far? I'm talking about MKO Abiola, a hero. A lot of people see him as the man of the day, as a hero of our nation. Anyway, we have analysts that will be speaking on these issues today. Of course, I wasn't there when Abiola was was all that election, all that thing they did, quite a lot. But today we also know that the president, Ahmed Tinubu, did a national broadcast this morning. He's promising so many things, and he says so many things. You understand the pains you people are going through, and he's actually feeling, according to what he said, he's actually feeling the brunt as well. And he believes that for the foundation to be okay, we need to start restoring now. We need to put out reforms. These reforms might come as pain, hardship and all that, but eventually the foundation will not be okay. Do you agree with him? This is some of the issues we'll be looking at today. Of course, you can always leave us with your comments. You can always join us via your comment section and tell us how you feel about today, June 12th. Anyway, I'll be having a guest today all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, Honorable Olu Cesar. He will be discussing these issues with us, their feelings, how are Nigerians reacting to this very day. Do you think we should be celebrating today? After all, it is a public holiday. Anyway, I have Mary also, my colleague, all the way, I'm able Mary, all the way from Abuja right now to join me and to tell me how Nigerians are reacting today, June 12th. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Princess. How is London this morning?
London is fine. I'm not very cold today. A little bit cold, but it's okay. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm doing good.
I can see you are doing good. You are balling. You are doing everything. You are, I know that feeling. So how is Abuja today? The streets of Abuja today's public holidays, and of course we're celebrating the much talked about June 12th, Democracy Day. How is the city like? Let's start from there.
Okay, the roads are free, although no today's public holiday, so all the offices are closed. Like people didn't go to work today because of the public holiday. There are not much thing happening. Everywhere is just cool, everywhere is just calm. We're just beginning the day, right? So let's see how today is gonna be like. But all I know is that today is public holiday here in Abuja and the roads are free. There are no people going to work.
Anyway, we know that people are having mixed reactions to this very day. People are having mixed feelings to this very day. People think it is not worth celebrating. People think that, why should we even talk about today? Is there really democracy? Mary, before we move to our guest and before we move to, other issues of the day, as a Nigerian, don't speak as a journalist, don't speak as, Mary of XR TV. Speak as a Nigerian now, the ordinary Nigerian. Do you think that we should be celebrating this day, or do you think that there is true democracy?
There is no true democracy. I think we actually talked about this in our last year, on June 12, right? We did a show on this. And if you say democracy, we are not practicing any democracy. So I see no need for it. I think it was Buhari that actually had to fix this June 12. You understand? It's like formally it was around May 29, something like that. They celebrate it. The MQ Abiola and all of that. So I really don't see any need for this because there is no true democracy. So I really don't know the impact that this is giving to us as Nigerians. The essence of this. So I'm surprised that truly people are actually witnessing the public holiday. Looking like today is one important day. Honestly, not just like a journalist or not because I'm working in the media. I don't see any need for this day, if you ask me.
Anyway, we know that that is your personal opinion, and we
Sure.
have others also that share that belongs to the school of thought that nothing is worth celebrating. But don't you think, for the likes of for the sacrifices or the love people have for MKO or Biola, we should celebrate. Anyway, we'll leave that for our guest who will be joining us soon. I think he's having issues connecting to us. Honorable, we still cannot see you. We still cannot hear your sound. We cannot even see your picture right now. So you need to first of all start all over. We move quickly to the some of the stories we have coming to us from Nigeria. We have a lot coming from our dailies today, quite a lot, and people are saying I love the headlines here in the Guardian. Maybe we should start from the Guardian today.
Okay. And let me take a look at the big story. The big story on the guidance is hope betrayed at 31. And the big story, citizens in their states still in search of democratic ideas, dividends. And that story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. We have a story here that says, I understand our economic difficulties. You don't, Atiku, others tell Tinubu. And that story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Labour rules out timeline for new minimum wage. Expect six figures. And that story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Council autonomy. Afenifere says Tinubu playing to the gallery suits diversionary hypocritical. And that story is on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. Nigerians' debt servicing goal at $2.2 billion. And we have a story here that says federal government needs 15 trillion to execute 260 road projects, says Umahi. And that story is on page 8 of the Guardian newspaper. Kaduna pardons IIO convicts to 110 convicts to mark Democracy Day. And that story is on page 9 of the Guardian newspaper. To make June 12 a meaningful Democracy Day. That story is on page 16 of the Guardian newspaper. And these are all the stories we have this morning on the Guardian. Okay, I think there's a story I skipped here. Truths under fire. The multi-front assault on facts during 2023 general election. And you can find that story on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. These are all the stories you have this morning on the Guardian.
Quite a lot, quite a lot, and I actually like this story coming from the Guardian this morning. The main headline here looks worrisome. That say hope betrayed at 31. Citizens in their streets still in search of democratic ideas, dividends. And then we know that this is coming. I don't understand our economy difficulties. You don't article others tell. I understand our economy difficulties. You don't article others tell Buhari. Tinubu rather. We know that I'm actually more worried about the headline here that says, hope betrayed at 31. It's I know I remember vividly when we did this show this very day in Abuja last year. I think I did that show with Ene and Moses, if I could remember vividly. And then I can't remember, but I'm thinking.
It was like I think 3 for the show. Blessing. There was one blessing. I with you. Yes, I think along the line you had a lot of guests. Yes, there were a lot of guest callings for the show. They were calling even Moses. You have a lot of people that called, but the people on the stream was like 3 people. Me, you, and Blessing. That's
I
it.
do not understand why up to today it seems though that nothing is working. It seems though that we are retrogressing. That is the word. We are not progressing.
At all.
And we can see from here, you know, it is disheartening that Nigerians up to today we are still looking for democratic idea, the dividends, we have not seen any,
But
and
every
it's this.
June 12, they will still come and do public holiday. Another June 12, they still come and do public holiday. But the Nigerians will be complaining. But they aren't making any change. You understand? I can understand that yes, people are not happy with the old June 12 and all of that. Although they can actually use today to rest. But we aren't making any change about it. We're just complaining. Next year, June 12, you still see the public holiday because just like I said, the roads are dry. People didn't actually go to work today. So it means they're actually practicing the day. If you're not practicing the day, then you people should have actually come back to work and face the day. But everybody's resting at home and you are there complaining. You are there complaining that there is no democracy, there is no essence of June 12th. But you're actually practicing June 12th. That is the most important thing. So if you sit down and complain, how can this issue be resolved? It can't. There's always June 12th. The thing that made them to declare June 12th, right? The MQ Abiola, I think it was the day he was supposed to be released. That was the day he died. Okay, let's say the thing that made them to declare June 12th as a public holiday. Is he not still practicing in Nigeria? It's supposed to be a free and fair election, right? Are we having free and fair election in Nigeria? So what is the essence of the June 12th? Because his own election, then I think he was a member of the SDP, while his other opponent was, I think, NRC, something like that. Okay, now they ran for the election. It wasn't free and fair, right? Bangida coming to say there was partiality and all of that. Yes, we can understand. And later on, they had to arrest MK Angola, put him in prison. From there and everything, the day he was supposed to be released, he died. I can understand. Which means the election was not free and fair. A lot of negativities came up. But even at that, in the present Nigeria, are we not still practicing this same not having a free and fair election? Even in the last election, people are still complaining, even till today, because they feel like it didn't go as planned. So it's not like maybe we diverted or there's a diversion from that system of election, that electoral process of things not working as it's supposed to be. You understand? We are still practicing that same not having a free and fair election. And today they're coming to tell us June 12th, as if there's a democracy in the country. And you see offices are closed. Then people are sitting back to type on the net that they are not happy. So to me, I don't see any essence of people complaining when they are not even doing anything to change the situation. Yes, because it is said that do you have a problem? Yes. Can you solve the problem? No. Then why complain about it? You cannot stop June 12th, so why complain about it? Nigerians are not happy, they're angry and all of that. So what have they done so far to stop the situation? Nothing.
Anyway, it's quite disturbing to know that up to today, Nigerians are in their need of democratic ideas and dividends, according to reports. And of course, Nigerians also are, at this very funny enough, last year was even fair enough, was better than this year, Mary.
Yeah.
This year is kind of worse. This year is kind of, Nigerians cannot eat as of today. Now people will not have money, food. I called somebody the other day, somebody very close, and he has not been online. I really wanted to speak with him for an urgent issue in Nigeria, and I had to tell my younger sister to help me call direct. My sister tried and tried and tried. At some point, my sister sent a message. She kept calling. After some days, we're able to pull through. And this young man told me that he lost the phone had issues. He didn't have money to fix that. Princess, can you imagine? He hold me. That was the word he used. They hold me. I didn't have money to fix my phone. It was that bad. I didn't even have money to leave the house. So we are at the stage where people do not even have savings anymore, nothing to
Yeah.
fall back to. And so when something just happened and you need money or you're in debt need, if you don't have anybody coming to your rescue, that will be, or you are will be on your own, according to what Nigerians used to
So
say.
last year we're thinking that things were bad, things were worst until we got to this year. Yeah. Funny enough, I don't want it to be in a situation whereby at this point that people are crying, at this point that people are suffering, that we know fully well that things are difficult. Then when we get to next day, we'll be saying this year is better. I don't want us to get to that point where it will now be that bad. Whereby maybe when we get to next day, we feel like next day is better than, you understand, that maybe we feel like next day is worse compared to this year because we're already in a worse situation. So when we get to a situation that is worse compared to this one, I will begin to thank God for this particular one. Then you know that we are in big problem. Because when I'm seeing it, they aren't doing anything to even at least better some situations that the people are complaining. It looks as if they are not listening, or they don't know, or they are not aware, because nothing is happening. The same old stories, the same plea from the people, the same complaint from the people, and nothing is being done to even at least tackle it to some extent. Things are difficult. The price of food and everything, you won't see anyone going down say okay, because people have been complaining, okay, the government actually doing something. You go to the market and you find out that at least to some extent there's a reduction in price. No, instead it is increasing. At the end of the day, it looks as if people need to adapt. But you see this situation of this country right now, I doubt it is not easy for people to adapt to this kind of thing, because it is way too much beyond our imagination. People cannot adapt to a situation like this because it is that worst. You can imagine. Now we say okay, labor they are trying to even fight for the minimum wage and all of that. I hope it gets to help every other person, because if we talk about the minimum wage, what about people that will not have the access to get that minimum wage? I understand that they don't want to talk to the private sector, but is it even all private sector that can afford that minimum wage? Let's see that way. So I feel like why not channel this energy to some extent on the reduction of things, because you get this minimum where you see that you still end it on expenses. You will not get to any point. You will not use it for anything. So it is so sad. I feel like they should do other things that can help reduce the price of food. I wish there's no insecurity issue in the country right now. We will not have issues with people going to the farm. Nobody wants to risk their life. You want to go and farm where you don't even know if you will come back alive, and you just want to go and farm like that. It is not like before again. People can't go to the farm. A lot of people are scared of going to the farm. And those that even try to farm, you see insects or every other thing trying to affect their product, just like what it did to tomatoes, and it became so expensive. And the government, they are just acting like they don't know anything. So it's that sad. I don't see any essence of the June 12. It is when the country is at least to some extent in a better situation. That is when you say you want to celebrate something. But at this point, I don't see anything that is worth celebrating here, because it is that bad. The country is suffering. They should do something to better the situation of this country.
Mary, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. The thing is that a lot of people, like you said, it's not even about the minimum wage, it's about the increase. So let's, for instance, we say labor is yesterday we did that calculation here. Let's say labor agree for the federal government agrees for 250. How much will that take you to in a year, and how much are you spending in a year? House rent alone would have taken all that money. I live in a house in Abuja where I pay 1.5 as of today. And so I don't understand why a lot of people, you know, do not see anything wrong with, there's this video that is actually trending where lawmakers are frowning at the fact that the figures that they are seeing and the newspapers are not correct, they are not earning such money. Then tell us how much you're earning, but they refuse to say it.
It's so sad.
And so I'm thinking that once we have a flat wage between the lawmakers, the ministers, and every person working is a flat rate, I think the country will actually be okay. And then people will not be clamoring to be in power because they know that they won't get anything. They can't steal either. That is the issue. And then when we have people stealing, when we have people, some working, that Nigerian saying, Babu they work, monkey they chop. People working and others are looting, are going away with the money. How can a sector or a quarter of people be happy? Today is June 12th. You want us to celebrate. Is it really worth celebrating? That is what we're asking today. Leave us with your comments. We'd love to hear from you. Is it worth celebrating? What do you think we should do moving forward? Looking at, the Vanguard said 31 years of, hope betrayed. They've betrayed hopes. During this last election, people actually had this energy, the youth and all that. But now I don't think the next election that is coming will see that kind of energy and that kind of, strength we saw across the youth, because each time they keep betraying them, each time Like Mary will always say, it's not about the youth coming out, it's about the electoral process. It's
That's
about who is in charge, what they do with these votes. You can vote as much as you want, but if they choose to turn it around at the dying minute, what can the righteous do? Anyway, there's a story here that we saw that is saying our analyst will actually talk about June 12th. He will be joining us soon. And then there's a story here. What is Umar is saying, Mary? Can you read that story again? What is why are we looking for so
federal
much?
government needs 15 trillion naira to execute 260 road projects. Says Umar. It's like that one. His own problem is road. Though. He's not understanding what we are saying. It's only road that he just want to work on.
And when federal government says there is no money, they cannot pay workers, and you keep doing road. The other day, Sule Lamido, Honorable, I think your sound is okay now. I think your video is okay. So you just need to make sure you're stable, and we'll bring you on the show. The other day we saw just 2 days ago, Sule Lamido saying, the former Jigawa state governor, saying that you cannot tell us you don't have money to pay workers and you're embarking on major road project. It's a lie. It's a
Yes,
lie. It's a lie.
I don't
And
even know
you
that
want
workers that are
to
complaining about the situation of this country. Somebody's bringing projects, road projects, how to execute road projects. Is it road that we're talking about? Who will pass the road if things are not going well? It is
yes,
not road.
if Nigerians, or if they if they kill all the people or they die of hunger, who will
Who
be
will
passing
pass the
through the
road?
roads?
I don't
And
understand.
so
Though.
you cannot tell us that good morning, Honorable. Can you hear us now?
Good morning, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You're welcome to the show. This
Thank
is
you very
Wake
much.
Up Nigeria, SRO TV.
Glad to be on.
Good morning,
Hi,
Glad to
Honorable.
be back.
how are you today?
I am fine, thank you. And you?
Well, very well, thank you, Honorable. And how is the celebration in Lagos today? You are in Lagos, if I'm correct.
Yes, I am. I
So,
am.
how are you people celebrating June 12th? Are you happy? Are you sad? Or is it a mixed reaction? Is a mixed feeling?
Definitely is a mixed reaction. But I mean, we thank God to be alive first and foremost. And like your colleague said earlier, I heard her when she said nothing to to celebrate about. But to me, as far as I'm concerned, we have a whole lot to celebrate about. Yes, we are not where we are supposed to be, but we are not stagnated. We are moving as a country. So on that note, there's every reason to celebrate. Yeah, we having 31 years of a broken democracy is, is a call for celebration. And when you understand that rule of law, you can decide what you want. Democracy is thriving. You have every reason to celebrate. So today in Nigeria, we are celebrating. How maybe not the way as a country, 64 years, but but still have every reason to celebrate.
Anyway, I understand that definitely, certainly, is going to be a mixed reaction. People are already reacting to it. And we know that because of the hardship, you do not expect somebody, they say, somebody that has not eaten will not be happy.
An angry man is an angry man.
He's an
Yeah.
angry man. That is correct, Honorable. And of course, we know that somebody apparently is somewhere now looking for money for medical bills, for house strength, for feeding, for transportation. And you don't expect them to celebrate the day. If I were to be in your shoes, I would not celebrate either. If I were to be in Nigeria, I would not celebrate today. In as much as there's a personality attached to this day that we all hold in high esteem, a personality that we all look up to, we all have been celebrating. Talking about MKO Abiola, but I feel that during from his time till now, it has been from one wahala, one issue to another. And like the Guardian rightly put in today, Nigerian citizens are still looking for the democracy and dividends of it as well. Now, Honorable, let's go to the business of the day. Today is June 12th, and we always talk about June 12th. Uh, Before we even start, Seth, what would you say about today, June 12th, on your own, from your own, just tell us your opinion on this day, June 12th, which we celebrate.
Personally speaking, I believe, like I said earlier, we have every reason to celebrate. Today is an epoch-making day, a day to reflect on where we are, and going forward as a nation, where we intend achieving. Yes, the symbol of today, late Moshood Kashimawu, Olawale Abiola, we have every reason to celebrate that enigma. That man who put himself on the front burner for democracy to thrive in Nigeria. For that unity of purpose, oneness. That is why I'm even glad that while celebrating this year's Democracy Day, we have the Renew Hope agenda and the bringing back of the old national anthem, which we are having presently, the Nigerian Withheld Bill. It symbolizes a lot of things. You cannot compare democracy to military rule. Anywhere in the world, no developed nation, no nation can thrive under military dictatorship because the rule of law will have been relegated to, will have been even killed totally. You can no freedom of expression, no freedom of movement, no, you don't have, all your enable rights have been taken away from you. But
Okay, we have a little bit of network issues there with our honorable here. It was actually analyzing, talking about June 12, the reason we should be celebrate and what, because he did say, bringing about the whole national item and all that. So I wanted to ask him some even questions. Is that supposed to be the part of a problem, or is that supposed to bring the much talked about democracy? Now, I feel that the democracy, the dividend Nigerians are looking for should be something that policies that we actually affect the lives of people, change the most needed change, nothing that will not impact. So if our lawmakers try to bring something that do not impact on the people, that do not impact on the economy that is already on the ground, then I don't see any need for it anyway. So that is a contrary opinion to what our dear honorable is saying. Go ahead, sir. We're going to throw you our questions from what you're saying, but just complete what you're saying, and then we'll go to the questions, sir.
so basically, like how, yes, policies are meant to be implemented. The way things are in the country presently, yes, there's suffering in the land, there's hardship in the land, the economy is not, but we should understand where we are coming from. And what the present president, has been doing to ensure that he rejig the economy of the nation, he set us on the right path towards economic prosperity. It takes time. A lot of water has passed under the bridge. We should even thank God as a nation. We were more like in a sinking boat, in a sinking ship that is now back on track. So it will take time. But I just believe that if given the necessary support, we cannot rule our prayers at this point in time. And the fact that Nigerians have been so resilient and committed, but it requires more focus, more attention, and more support to the present government if things need to work out. Yes, the issue of the minimum wage, the living wage, I will always call it living wage, not minimum wage. Because vis-a-vis the present hardship and the salary, the take-home of an average worker in Nigeria, does it, when you just oppose Does it equate? But there are indices to all these things. It's not just science rockets. There are indices. What does the government, what's the take home of the government on a monthly basis? The aggregate revenue of the nation. And minimum wage is not an exclusive responsibility of the federal government. The 3 tiers of government and the private sector will be given consideration. The ability to pay. It is very, very important. It is key. The ability to pay of all the stakeholders involved. If the federal government says based on the percentage accruable to the federal government from the revenue of the nation, if the federal government can be able to say, okay, I can pay 100,000 naira monthly, because they are presently collecting about 52% of the resources that is accruable to the nation. The state government, can they? The third tier of government, the local government, which goes on with about 18% of the revenue of the country, can they afford to pay their workers the same wage? Then falling back to the private sectors. So the merits and demerits of this should be weighed. I sympathize with the average workers, with Nigerians.
Honorable, I'm going to cut in there.
Yes.
I've picked some points of what you've been analyzing, and first and foremost, is needless to know or not to say that we should pray. I don't think prayer is one of it. I want us to remove prayer first, because
no, that's a support base. That's a support base.
Pray, Honorable. Don't forget that Nigeria is actually a praying nation, a praying country and nation. We have been going to Mecca. We have been going to Israel.
The most religious country.
Praying. I grew up seeing people praying, and up till now, it has been from fry pan to fire. I
am not of the opinion that we should spend the better part of our days either in churches or in mosque praying. No, that is not the kind of prayer I know.
I feel like God has actually given us the opportunity, everything we need as a nation.
Yes,
when you have
right.
leaders, this is what happened. They have plunged the nation into what we're seeing now. It has nothing to do with God. Nigeria is a country that has so much
bad leadership,
so much natural resources.
Yes.
Nothing to show for it. And so I think calling on God at this point is us just trying to bother God. Sir,
the good or the bad, you call on God.
You did.
At the good time, at the bad time, you call on God.
Sir, you didn't talk about yes, sir. You didn't talk about analyzing the minimum wage, talking about from the federal to the state to the local government. And let's go to our governors, to the states. Are you of the opinion that the states will not be able to meet up to the demands of the organized labor?
Well, I believe I think respective governors, based on their allocations and the hierarchy base, will determine what comes to them and the staff strengths in their respective states will be able to determine. Some states they've come forward to table what they can afford to pay. Don't forget the fact that this is a federal system of government, but I believe the governors, I want them to be very, very open and broad-minded to go along with the feelings, yearnings of the people. At this point in time, the Nigerian masses, Nigerian people come first. So they should endeavor to meet up with the demands of the Nigerian Labour Congress, so that when your workers, when your staffs are happy, you have a very conducive environment. Even the development we are talking about will not be far-fetched, because these are the people that will enable it. No matter the policies you put in place, it is the workers. that implement them. But when they are not happy with their enumeration, with their wages, with the circumstances surrounding the ambience of the working environment, they might not be able to actually ensure that development we are looking for as a nation. So, to me, I believe the governors, it is all about lobbying, discussion, negotiations. And I believe at the end of the day, the 62,000 naira that is being proposed, we are just awaiting the presidential, declaration on that. So whatever the president and the governors will have discussed extensively. So I believe that.
Do you know, sir? It is quite honorable. It is quite disheartening for us to know that, governors. You are talking about allocation to them. So does it mean that the state cannot produce anything at all apart from the federal allocation?
I did mention the IGR. I mentioned the IGR. That's the internally generated revenue. I mentioned it. Apart from the allocation, what they receive from the federal allocation, the internally generated, it differs state to state. You cannot compare a state like Lagos to a state like Kebbi or Gombe.
In as much as I understand what you're saying, Lagos is a business hub of the country. We know that only the GDP of Lagos is more than that of Kenya as a country.
Of so many countries, yes.
So many countries as well. We know we understand that fact. But what I was saying this morning, sir, Honorable, the fact that each state in Nigeria, if you look inward critically, there is a way they generate money. They have natural resources, especially even the northern, the middle belt, where they have a lot of things that they can actually. And that is why you see, when you go to Plateau State, when you go to Niger State, you see illegal mining. Who do you think are Who do you think are these miners? They are people, individuals, paying people to do what? To mine resources.
First and foremost, I think let me put the record straight. Sorry, let me cut in there. Natural resources are on the exclusive list of the federal government, not on the states.
No. The state has access to them. The state also have access to them, and that is why we have the commissioners representing these sectors.
Listen, the only resources that the states, in terms of mineral resources, it is only when you talk about dredging. But when you talk about natural resources, exclusive responsibility of the federal government is on the A list. But yes, you are right. Illegal mining is everywhere. That should be at the doorstep of the federal government. The loophole, they must block all these and harness all resources. I understand that. Just the same way they are doing because over the years we focus on petroleum, crude, petroleum, abandoning all other resources, especially those in the north. And we cannot grow as a nation, we cannot develop as a nation. That is why in the South, we are depending on what comes in from the South as a nation, where we have mineral resources scattered all over the north. So if you are able to judiciously harness all these resources together, I believe we will get to our potentials as a nation. The governors, that's why I want to appreciate the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All the reforms, the constitutional reforms he's trying to put in place is to set us to the right path, whereby states will control their resources. There are states in Nigeria that are not contributing to anything to the national coffers, but getting billions of allocation.
Now, I want to understand something you said. So, since the federal government is actually in charge of every natural resources we have across the states, what is the reason for the commissioners in this sector to oversee and to report back to the federal government? Is that the case?
Come again, please. I didn't get the question at all.
You did say that most of these natural resources we have are actually under the care or should be the care of the government, the federal government, the states.
The federal government on the A list, yes.
All right. And now we have commissioners for each of these sectors at the state level, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's why I said commissioner for, not all states do have a commissioner for resources. There are states, I said dredging. Dredging falls under, dredging and mining are two different things altogether. I believe you are getting me. Dredging and mining falls under different headline. So what I'm saying is this: all those commissioners, they are relating with the Federal Ministry of Mineral Resources in areas of their own interest, their state's interest. But they make the call like gold, the plateau mining, the plateau, the uranium, all these crude, they are exclusive. They are under the exclusive list of the federal government, not states. That is what I'm trying to, explain to you. They are not state-related mineral resources. They are exclusive federal government list.
Okay, now that brings me to my next question, sir. So are you trying to say that even though they are on the A list, now if a state tends to, go into it, and if a state also, the fact that there's commissioner for that sector, because I know what I'm saying, I usually have the commissioner from Plateau State here on the show on monthly basis, and so because they are supposed to oversee these things, and at the end of the day, if a state should produce or have these natural resources, don't they have a share in that money at the end of the day?
Precisely. You see, we are saying the same thing in different contexts, whereby the state, okay, let's take Plateau as a case study. The state, the problem we are having as a nation is our constitution. We are robbed as a nation by virtue of the present constitution we are operating. It is a double standard constitution. So it is not going to help. That is why I said most of these amendments that is being put in place under this present dispensation is to set us in the right path, so that powers will now be revert back to the governors, for them to have a more judicious and harmonious, access of what is within their states. Most governors will fold their hands because illegal miners are there. They don't have right or say over activities of these miners. So they would rather look the other way around. But if they are given the exclusive responsibility of what belongs to them, what is in their states, as a chief security officer of their states, they will be able to effectively monitor and harness their potentials. And their people will be better, will benefit from it. So it is just saying you are cooking, you are a chef, you are cooking. You are in charge, you are cooking, but you cannot enjoy what you are cooking at the end of the day. So you may not, the food may not taste, may not come out in a very way, in a good way.
Anyway, we'll go back to state issues and their revenues, their resources as well, and what they have. But let's talk about the issue we have for today, which is the June 12th Democracy
June
Day.
12th.
Yes, we'll talk about the free and fair election during MK. That was an election during MK's election. People did term as free, fair, and credible. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah. The June 12, 1993 election happened to be the freest, the fairest, and the best election that has ever happened in the annals of our history as a nation. Because that was an election whereby the people, Nigerians, collectively gave their mandates, the mandate of leadership, to one man who are prior to his aspiration has traversed every length and breadth of this country. One man who was never a political, a businessman, a philanthropist. He was decades before 1993. He has been there in every sector. MK Abiola was then the only Nigerian that understands the feelings, the yearnings, the needs of Nigerians. So even before the election, the military never gave him, the nod. They never believed he could win. All impediments, all obstacles that were placed, before him, he was able to scale all those impediments just because of his person, just because of his antecedents. So the election came and it was unprecedented. It was the fairest, the best election we cannot, I don't think it will be a long time before we can have that kind of election until we put things in the right.
That was supposed to be my next question, Honorable. Now compare talking about that election and what we've been seeing now from that time up to now. How would you describe the Nigeria electoral process and system?
Well, unfortunately, we cannot compare the then election and the present one. You see, elections will be fair when you make it open. When you make it open ballot system, the option A4 that was adopted in 1993, secret ballots to me are carried anywhere in the world. It is just a guide. It's always a guided election. An open ballot system whereby the electorates come out, line up for their candidates, for the candidates of their choice. You can't beat it. You can't beat that kind of arrangement. But when you come out to say, oh, you've done accreditation, these are the registered voters in a particular polling unit, you can void it, we all know it that there is manipulation in the system. Even the most advanced democracy in the world, the United States, we saw what happened during Clinton and during Clinton and the Republican president. There's it's open room for manipulation. But the option A4, until we come back, we go back to that option A4 system, whereby the free will of the people will manifest. People, you cannot win an election if you are not popular. But with this kind of system, political parties will continue to impose candidates against the will of the people, and the electoral system will always be manipulated.
Now, it's very worrisome, Honorable, to know that, we not practice, election or people being voted for is by we're not looking at religion, ethnicity, and this has become a problem compared to talking about MKO's Abiola's election. You did describe as fair, most credible election we ever witnessed as a nation. Now we know that Abiola was a Westerner and not from the east, not from the north as well. But he was embraced by all, not minding religion, not minding tribe as well, like what was seen today, and there was no violence. Now, what do you think? How do you think we can move away from this place? Because we've seen so far now that Nigerian election, we're seeing violence. A lot of people are scared of even coming out. The fear of being killed. We saw the woman in Lagos that came out the other time to vote for Peter Obi, and one of her eye was actually damaged. That was just a case study. We've seen so far that is by, people want to get it by all means. And, the violence that even comes with it alone is something that a lot of people are so scared of. What do you think can be done? Would you
Well, like I said,
would you say that people then were more civilized than us? Because then, people tend to know, as I think they actually knew what was right, and they tend to go for it.
as it were 31 years ago, election was never a do or die affair. And the state of the economy, as it were then, and the promise of hope by the candidates, MKO Abiola, the figure he represented before the nation was quite different. You must understand that elections, people are brought forward for elections. What we are having presently in Nigeria, compared to 31 years ago, no. But that does not foreclose the fact that we are not moving forward. Don't forget, it was a two-party system arrangement. People have limited choices. And 31 years ago, there were just two candidates, Tofa and MKO Abiola. So it's just like you saying between God and the devil. Is option A and B. But today's the electoral arrangements, we have over 50 political parties to choose from. So 50 political parties presenting candidates. It is a rat race we are now having. It is a rat race. And you mentioned a lady being injured in Lagos during that came out to vote for Peter Obi. It wasn't just about Peter Obi. Many people were injured, maimed in Anambra, in the east.
No, that was a case study, sir.
No, I had to bring back. It's not limited to that. It was something holistic. All the gladiators, all the political parties, in their own areas of domain, where they have the power, quote and unquote, we are involved in all those skirmishes. That's why I said earlier that we are yet to get there as a nation. But we can do better, whereby things, one, to me, even if it is democracy or rule of law, the number of political parties should be pruned down, should be reduced. It's a waste of resources. They should be pruned down. The monetization of election is another major problem. Because of the hunger in the land, people and electorates, voters are not voting on the premise of I like this person or his manifesto or his antecedents, but the highest bidder, and somebody who has gone into raised loan at the bank, who does not have anything to offer, but because he has the resources and the backers, who always win every election in the country. So that is just the unfortunate position we have found ourselves as a nation. But I believe, like I said, with proper reforms, constitutional reforms. Look at what the president has just sent before the National Assembly.
I was gonna bring you to the president, since we are not talking about reforms. So far, I want you to be sincere, honorable. You might be an APC person, or you might be a fan or a brother, because we used to call those from the West as brother of our dear president. Let's be very sincere, honorable. Do you think so far the reforms of the president, the policies so far, are in the right direction?
Yes. With sincerity of mind, for the love of my country. So far, so good for. So far, so good. You see, listen, I said something earlier. To mend a sinking ship will be very difficult, but it is not impossible. The last 1 year has been tough. As policies that will take us away from the doldrums, because we are already almost going into the abyss. But so get out of it. Might be tough on our people, have been issue, but things will take shape. I would say yes, the taking away of the
Subsidy.
subsidy, the floating of the forex has actually affected negatively, because when the president came in, the exchange rates to the dollar was around 300, 400 naira to a dollar, and when the floating started, it catapulted into 1,000 plus and what have you. So what we have having today, I think that brought about a lot of hardship. But the sincerity of purpose of that policy is what we should look at. Is it meant to bring?
But Honorable, we are talking about, the president has been in power for over a year now.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, when he came into power that very day, he did say subsidy is nothing of the past. And so a lot of analysts, I am quoting what, I am a journalist, I am neutral. I only speak based on what people say, or analysts, the opinion, the reports of these experts. They did say they are not accusing the president of not having, tangible, when you say you want to remove subsidy, one would have expected there are measures put in place already that will cushion the effects, because you removing subsidy means that there must be something to follow. Something will come after hardship or something. Things will no longer be the same. But now people are saying that nothing like that was actually put in place. The man just said it without not minding what would happen thereafter. And that is one. We know so far, 2 days ago, we saw the likes of, Sule Lamido did saying that the president, everything about the president policy is wrong. And the president is actually going on a wrong path. People close to him should please caution him. And this is terms we are talking about the naira now. You did say talk about the floating. We'll talk about subsidy removal, and we're not talking about we are not talking about also opening we are not having more import of goods, especially food. On the news that was yesterday or 2 days ago, we did see that the president actually is reducing increased import rate on food items and open borders for more food to come in. And that these are some of the policies that analysts are saying that is wrong. It's going to plunge the country more into, more chaos than we already see. Do you agree?
Well, unfortunately, I would not in totality. The issue of subsidy, yes, the president announced it on his first day, on his inauguration as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But I want to draw your attention to correct one notion. Subsidy has already been removed by the former President Muhammadu Buhari. There was no provision for subsidy in the 2023 budget. It has been removed. It has been removed. Till June, the last payment for subsidy was June. So there was no budget for it. So what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu just did was to pronounce it. It has been removed by President Muhammadu Buhari. So it wasn't just President Bola Tinubu that removed it. It has been removed.
You came in as
Hold
a
on, hold
president.
on.
That means you're supposed to have your own policies, and not the policies of the previous
Of
government.
course, of course, of course, that was, you know, when he announced the removal, he came in with palliatives, measures. Palliative, you know, I said something earlier.
What are the
The
measures? What are the palliatives?
listen, listen.
Yeah.
There are
What
temporary, sorry, Casey, there are temporary measures and long-time palliatives. When he came on board, temporary palliatives like the CNG we are having, the CNG buses, they cut down so many prices. But because the government, as a nation, the issue of price control on commodities are not there. We are not controlling on food, on crops. We are not controlling anything. The government is not controlling, as it were, all areas. So individuals, Nigerians they are using the subsidy to exploit ourselves. Farmers from the market, from the farm, bringing their farm produce into the hinterland, will come up with different excuses. The issue of banditry, not allowing the farmers to have access to the farms. So it is holistic. When you now talk about the president, yes, I will say the president has been 100%. But I said, we just need to give him time. Sule Lamido mentioned, opposition will not see anything good in you. Sule Lamido, as a person, is an opposition person. So, saying that the president has not performed in every aspect.
I just said that because that actually happened just yesterday or 2 days ago. But we had a like of, Bodejo, we have a like of the San Falana. We have a lot of people. We have Kuka.
Yes, listen.
Not because they're opposition, but because they are
listen. 100%. I will not give the president 100% kudos. But to say that he has not performed or he has not been on the right track in the last 1 year, I would not be part of that. In some areas of our economic life, he has. But like I said, everything, every good thing, when you plant a seed, each time.
I want you to be specific, because we are not talking about June 12th, Democracy Day. You said the president has actually improved some area of the economy. I want you to be specific. Which are these areas, sir?
Sorry, Coswell. Come again with your question, please.
I said, you said the president has actually did try in some of the economy reform in the past 1 year. So I want you to be specific. When you say he has tried to improve a part of the economy, which part of the economy, to be precise?
Okay, sir. The way the economy was before the president came on board is not the way it is now. The area, go and check the index analysis of the GDP. Yes, there is inflation in the land because I am a realistic person. That was why I said the floating of the naira and the subsidy has actually infected negatively on the economy, on Nigerians, and that is the first index we should look at. It has impacted negatively on Nigerians. No doubt about that. No doubt. And the president is not unmindful of that. But what we are saying is time. Because you gave him, he was given a 4 years mandate, not a 1 year mandate. Don't forget that. He was given a 4 years mandate, not a 1 year or 365 days mandate. And he has publicly pronounced it that if at the end of the 4 years he did not meet up to your expectations, vote him out. So please, I want to implore Nigerians, it requires time. What has been damaged in the decades, years, does not require 365 days to fix. And we are not talking about a magician now. So it is just 365 days, barely a year. A year. He has a 4 years mandate. It can only be measured. That's why in the US we have a midterm election. You understand? We have a midterm election in the US. They use that as an indicator to check on what the performance index of the president or the legislators. So you cannot use a year out of 4 years to determine the success or otherwise of a government. It will be very wrong and sentimental.
It is worrisome. We are the media, and we stand as a bridge between government and the people. Now, Honorable, it is worrisome to know that Buhari did the handover, or let's say Tinubu was voted for. He came in power. And when we're not talking about Tinubu, we shouldn't bring Buhari into it. Even people that are of APC told some, I know a lot of them in Abuja that will tell you that, Buhari didn't do well, but Tinubu is a strong man, he will do better. He's an economist and all that. Now, Honorable Sir, we are talking about, have you seen the national broadcast of the president today?
No, unfortunately, I didn't listen to it.
Very well. Now, you will see that the president is not holding anything tangible. He's not holding water. What we're saying is that this reform, at the end of the day, we will have a positive, we actually have a positive impact after. The aftermath is what we're looking at now, right? And so, yes. I am tempted to ask, Honorable, because you've been going on and on. So, what are Nigerians supposed to do? Are you feeling this hardship? We're talking about no fuel. We're talking about no food. People cannot even buy tomatoes. Insecurity that the president, the National Assembly is supposed to be tackling. They are not tackling that. You did applaud the national anthem that was actually passed into law now. Meanwhile, we have these people sitting at the National Assembly telling you they should create more states. Bring back the whole national anthem, and they are not talking about insecurity. You didn't talk about insecurity. That is why we're having food crisis. And even today, the president is not talking about that. Are you not worried?
Well, like I said, there is no Nigerian that is not worried about the present situation. But what is there is this. You are isolating issues. The issue of insecurity, what the National Assembly, what they are doing about reforms, I said it from the beginning of this program. I said, amending our present constitution is the key. There are clauses in that constitution, chapters in that constitution that should be amended for us to set ourselves on the path of progress. When such reforms are put in place via the amendment of the Constitution, the issue of state ownership, state police, it belongs on the National Assembly to do that. And when it is now passed with the support of all the state houses of assembly, now the state governors, the Southwest governors met about 2-3 days ago. They talked about having a regional police structure put in place where you have governors taking charge of their state security. It will improve the security base of the states. But for what we are having today, the state governors are not in charge of security. The president will leave Abuja to come and secure a remote village in Sokoto. But the governor, who happens to be the chief security officer, quote and unquote, will have, the commissioner of police will work directly with the governor. But what we are operating today, the commissioner of police take orders directly from the IG. or the DCP or the AIG. So we cannot, when you are isolating all this, we must look at everything holistically. So the reforms start from the National Assembly via the constitutional amendments. It is when they are now done back to the federal government, to the president, and assents were made, that you and I, as Nigerians, will feel the impact of all this. But as it is, we have a lot of problem on our hands. We will continue to run round in the same direction. But saying that the National Assembly are just busy, the national anthem, that is not the issue. The issue is holistic, is an holistic thing. When the constitutions, the proper sections of the constitution that deals with, that will bring back power to the states. You see, when powers are brought back to the states, certain powers are brought back to the states, Nigerians will feel the impact of their representatives. The area of insecurity will be a thing of the past. The present police arrangement we have, the present policing arrangement we have in the country is not sustainable. The present military arrangement we have in the country, not sustainable. Okay.
Anyway, I do hope that before this, before we will get to that stage or that point, Nigerians will not. We all have not apparently those in them, because now I'm in London. So let's say those, Mary, you all. Let's pray that you will still be alive when before that time.
By God's grace, we'll be alive to witness.
How long we'll keep suffering, saying that the president cannot do everything within a year? So
UK,
we cannot face this for
even America. America did not get to where they are in a year. It took time.
What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? They're not doing anything.
You can say they are not doing anything. When you plant a seed, my dear sisters, when you plant a seed, it takes time. You water it. You take care of it. It grows.
The national anthem has been his priority.
Listen.
Insecurity in the country has been his priority. So
I have said it. The security issues are not what we just talk about on surface. It's more complex and dynamic. That's why I said.
What are the people have been begging for? Because if people are not alive, who are you going to rule? When people
listen, we will continue to be alive. What we should understand is there are. Hello, my sister.
Who are the people?
I can understand your pains. I feel your pains. I'm a Nigerian. I feel it too. I can understand.
You feel it. You're not sounding like you feel it.
Listen.
That we should give the president for like 4 years. People cannot even endure this for like a year.
Nobody, listen, my dear sister. Nobody brings about a desired change in a year. It is undone. It is not possible. It is not even you. It is not possible. Let's be realistic.
I feel like misplaced priority as what is going on. They leave the important thing and do the things that are not important. That's what I'm saying.
Based on your own priorities. Listen, when to the man at the helm of affairs, what he's facing, what he has on the table before him is quite bigger than what you are saying. You can only see, within your own horizon. But what the president sees is quite bigger. It's a bigger picture. But what I'm saying is, let's see, because you and I know that the area of security, the area of most of this, even education, health, let power reverse back to the states and the local governments. Then you will now see the UK. What does most of these things in the US?
Honorable, we're not saying that the president is supposed to have done all this in 1 year.
That is what she's saying. That's what she's emphasizing.
No. We are saying that the policies so far, the reforms so far, they are not working. That is what we're saying. And not we, analysts, Nigerians. She's there in Nigeria. They are feeling it. Have you seen that?
I'm equally feeling it. I'm equally feeling it. That's why I said.
Honorable, because
I'm feeling it.
yeah.
Honorable, I'm
Now,
not
are
feeling
you
it.
sure you go out, Honorable? Do you buy things
I'm
at
not
all?
feeling it.
Maybe you don't buy. Maybe you
Hello.
bring your wife to the market and she has not reported that things are expensive.
Of course, things are. Even if I don't go directly to the market, I put money down for them to go to the market. So I feel it. I know what they bring in. I know what a bag of rice costs in the market. I know prices of all these goods because I put money down for them to be purchased, to be procured. So I feel it as well. I mean, I drive. I don't use driver. I drive to the filling stations. I know what I used to, how much I used to buy to fill my tank, and I know what I'm using.
Honorable,
So
let's be sincere here. We are talking about democracy, right? We're talking about June 12th today. Now, let's be sincere. There's something Vanguard did yesterday. Now, they had to analyze the take home of every civil servant per annum. We're not even talking now. For instance, the organized labor now is demanding for 250. They've reduced to 250. And now the federal government is still at that, even though they've not said anything, they're still at that 62. Now let's calculate this money, Honorable, a year. What will the take home be like? And how much is the rent in Lagos for an average family man? Do you think that's feasible? That is something that will work?
it all depends. You see, we shouldn't.
No, we are talking about the current state of the economy. And
These are these. I understand. I understand. It's understandable. The current state of, even if they are paid 400,000 naira, is it sustainable? But we are looking at the sustainability. The sustainability of whatever they eventually agreed to pay. Is one thing to understand the prevailing economic situation.
So are you trying to say it is okay for the elites, political in quotes, our political elites, we're talking about at the national level and at the state level, the extravagant lifestyle of our lawmakers and of course the governors. It's okay for them to have that lifestyle. It is okay. We saw on the news some days ago, I quote the papers, whatever I asked you is from the national, where their refreshments in a month is 1 trillion naira, the governors. Is that okay to spend that much and then we are not able to pay workers, Honorable?
Listen, no one is saying they are not able to pay workers. What we're talking about review. Hold on. We're talking about review. Yes, this issue of minimum wage, I want to say that it's something that's inherited over the years. Don't forget the fact that in 2017, the workers themselves, their demand was 28,000 naira or 27,000, 28,000 naira minimum wage. And Buhari used his own authority, he used his own veto, having discussed with the governors to put it at 30,000 naira, what they are still presently, at 30,000 naira, because he felt that was reasonable and affordable. The ability to pay, we shouldn't run away from it. It is one thing for the president to say, for the government to say, okay, we agree to pay you 300,000 or 400,000. And the workers, at the end of the day, the ability to sustain it. I will not condole, I will not be here supporting extravagant lifestyle by any political office holder or political functionaries. I won't support that at the detriment of the masses of Nigerians. No. But what I'm saying is this: the sustainability. You should understand the percentage on the salary strength of these workers. If you are saying 400,000 or 250,000 now, they've pegged it. Labor started with, it's all about negotiation. They started with an impossible demand. which they knew themselves that it was just to start, for a starter, asking, they will negotiate and bring it down. That is good, because they did not want to argue from a weak position. So it's good, it's commendable. But what I'm saying is, they are on the inside, the labor members themselves, they are on the inside. They know what is, they know everything that is on.
Okay, now, Honorable, we're still talking about
You and I don't know. The labor themselves, they know. They know.
Honorable, sir. Okay, we're still talking about democracy, June 12th, and of course, our dear president, because of course he's the leader he's actually the captain now. So we need to everything will have to go around him. Now, what would you say, what can you say, what is the record? What can you say has been recorded so far of this administration? Mention one thing that has been done, one tangible thing for 1 year, sir.
I should mention one thing.
Yes, that the administration has done that, we applaud, or we should actually applaud. Of course, we cannot only criticize, we should applaud as well. So tell us something that we should applaud.
Unity of purpose.
Oh, are we going to have an advantage over the other one?
What do you mean unity of purpose? Can you elaborate, sir?
You see, when this president came on board, the country was already fragmented, especially during the electioneering period. We are more divided than united as a nation.
Really?
Because of.
And you think we are united now?
And President Tinubu united us.
That is
my brother, sir. It has changed. It has changed. It has changed.
So I have a few minutes with you. I have a few minutes, and I've been asked to join you, so I'm going to ask you a question.
You're welcome. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So first, you will agree with me that the primary aim of government is protection of lives and properties.
Property, absolutely.
Can you say this government has done that? Because there's still massive insecurity in the country.
There has been insecurity all over. Yeah, but it has improved.
Even in Abuja, they're killings and
killing. Sir, killing every day is a global trend.
Oh, so okay.
Not limited. Excuse me. You see, listen. I want us to have one understanding.
Yes, we are on
as Nigerians, we should be very, very wary of how we portray our nation. There's killing. The rate of killings in the US are second. You can't compare to Nigeria. Listen. In Nigeria, as we speak today, there is improvement. At least we are not. Boko Haram.
Security.
How do you read that? How do you determine that it has been worse?
Okay.
Wow.
Wait a minute. So we assume that the security situation in the country under Buhari is worse than under Tinubu. Is that what you're saying, sir?
I'm not being particular about any government.
No, I want us to be. Let's compare because we now can understand.
I'm not comparing. What I'm saying, what based on what the question you ask, all I said is we have improvement. We are not there yet. That is the issue. That because the president realized that himself. That was why he has been sending from the constitutional reforms amendments he has been sending to the National Assembly. I was talking to, those are the things that can guarantee us, that can take us to where we are going in the area of security. Because when the president is sitting down there in Abuja, the chief of staff, the chief of army staff, all the defense, he will only give instructions to them. He will not go personally to the field. And Nigeria as a country, it's complex. But when security powers are now resided, given back to the states, it will be better off. A lot of amendments, a lot of reforms must be put in place.
That would be a debate for another day because
the president is already on that track. That's why I said you cannot isolate it. The president is already on that track.
Our state governors As state governors have taught us that we cannot entrust things in their.
Sorry?
I want to ask you one question.
Mary, hold on. Let Daddy Chris finish because Daddy Chris has limited time.
I got a couple of things. I know my people are busy, so I'm going to be here for a few minutes.
You said you cannot trust the state governors? Or did I hear you say that?
I think his network is bad.
Daddy Chris,
I'm still running away, so if you guys give me a few minutes, let me.
Go ahead, Daddy
Sir, this administration, I'm happy. No, they cannot. They cannot be trusted. We've seen that again and again. Yes, sir. If we see the amount of resources that have gone to the state and how they've been used. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, sir. We
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Unless it's my network. Can
We
you hear
can
me?
hear you.
We
Yes.
can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Obviously, my network.
It is your network, sir.
Network is okay.
I can hear you loud and
Can you
clear.
hear me?
I can
Princess,
hear you.
me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Then something. Okay, good. Okay, good. So yes, so I said that would be a debate for another day. Let's leave the governors aside. Let's deal with the presidency.
Okay.
It's my network. Eh? Yes. Okay. Let me.
Go ahead.
Okay.
we can
So
hear
my
you.
second question is: this is a president came to office on the May 29. He did the one good thing which we applaud him. He said no more subsidies, and we agreed. Today, there's no more subsidies, and so meaning we have saved a lot of money. Are you happy, Honorable, that we could not use the same money we have been saving to construct a refinery?
I think his network is bad.
Yeah, it is. Network is bad.
Anyway, maybe next time when you will come around on the show, Daddy Chris will be here in the studio as well with me to to ask the question. I know he has been watching and he really wanted to ask you some questions. Anyway, but I think he was trying to ask you that since we remove the removal of subsidy, the money has been we know that on the news they said that they have for so far. We have recovered or we have been able to, to save a certain amount and all that. So what has the money been used for? This is what is trying to ask you, sir.
That's probably we should have been from the savings that the present government should have been able to build a refinery.
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
In fact, sir, what I'm trying to say, sir, Honorable, is I'm talking about priorities. We have a challenge in the country. There's oil. Right now, you agree with me that the price of oil has gone up. Nigerians are suffering. It's affecting a lot of things. As a responsible father, that's what government is. Now, looking at the suffering of your people, you save some money, which you were using for something else, and now you didn't use the money to solve that particular problem, putting your people in difficulties. Let me put it this way. Now, the price of oil is something that the ordinary Nigerians cannot afford. I know it's more expensive everywhere in the world, but we are in Nigeria. We are not, our income, which is what we are debating today. So you're telling us that the money that you've been saving, you've been sharing it. So this is the painful thing. This same money is being shared among the state governors. That's why I say don't count the governors because they've not been responsible. And
there's no way you rule them out.
Yes,
you cannot. The country cannot be run just by the president. It's not possible.
Yeah, you share the money. President is responsible because he can decide to use the money otherwise.
For refreshment, sir.
Yes, the money could have been used for refineries. Instead, we are using the money to service debt of pay for refreshment. Thank you. And so, how do you feel about our money? To be honest, let me put it in better context. The same government find it convenient to construct a road from Lagos to Calabar. They couldn't build a refinery, so the issue is not money. They have enough money. Or if they borrow that money, why did they borrow money for refineries? That's my question.
I think I'll start from the last question, from the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. Okay. That's on a PPP arrangement. Okay, that arrangement is on a PPP, and it's not something. It will take years. It is a private partnership with the federal government. So the amount involved is not the exclusive, will not be coming from the coffers of the. So that's why it should be told that road is investors driven, not so. I want to just clarify.
Sorry to cut you there. Why are we not having investor-driven refineries?
Hold on. Sorry, Pastor Chris, you raised that, and I answered you. Well, I'm a Nigerian. I want a Nigeria I can be proud of. Do we have it presently? No. Emphatically no. But what I'm saying is this. On the issue of the savings accruable from the removal of subsidy, has it so far been judicially expended? Personally speaking, I would say no.
Thank you, sir.
For one reason, savings are not meant to be shared. He said the president was emphatic about it, that from the savings we are going to be getting from the removal of subsidy will be channeled towards developmental projects and construction of hospitals, building of roads, a lot of projects. But you see, we cannot run away from constitutional provisions. The president does not have the sole power to determine accruables, revenues on a monthly basis. And revenue from oil belongs to the 3 tiers of government. The IGL of the nation belongs to the 3 tiers of government as constitutionally provided. So he cannot just sit down and say, this is good. So until that's why I said we must look at things holistically, not isolating issues. We are quick as Nigerians, because that is where we are affected. We are quick to isolate, but we don't look at things holistically. Until that is why I'm praising him. He knows, the president is conscious of the feelings of Nigerians and the load. He has said, don't pity me. I knew what I was going to face before I applied for the job.
Yes.
You could see he is more particular with sending constitutional amendments to the National Assembly. These are areas that we ease the pains. He's taking the bull by the horn by trying to restructure. And without restructuring of these critical areas, we cannot get it right. The president cannot just say, oh, I want to take money from savings, accruable from savings of removal of crude oil. He cannot solitarily determine that.
Yes.
He will be going against the constitution. And because the governors are critical stakeholders in the
other
politics.
words, Sir Honorable, you almost agree with me that our governors are nothing to be talking about. But let's just look at today.
I won't agree with you. I won't agree with you in that direction.
I know.
Listen,
but
I won't agree with you.
I'll try to be civil, sir. I'll try to be civil.
I will appreciate that. I'll appreciate that. Yes, our priorities differs. The way you are, where you are, the way you prioritize, your thoughts and my thoughts are different.
I agree.
And our thoughts determines our priorities.
So let's look at today, very important day in the history of Nigeria, Democracy Day. Now, these two young people may not be very much aware of what happened, what makes Democracy Day. If Princess can give us that slide again, I'll be happy. We're going to see Abiola, a man that died for Nigeria. And I would say it's the blood of his sweat that is making up, have the democracy we're enjoying today. Because I think we all remember that somebody died for the democracy we are going through. But and yet the last election came with a lot of controversies, the one that brought Tinubu into office. Still, till today, a lot of people are still very unhappy with what happened with Beavers. The president has been in office for 1 year now. He has not addressed the issue of electoral malpractices in the country. How INEC can give us a better election. Today is God with, in fact, I don't want to call God, but prosperity will judge us. And Abiola is here now. We're looking at him. The man is somewhere crying. His blood is crying. You know, we talk of the blood of Jesus. This is the blood of a man that gave us democracy. He's thinking that he wants a better government. I thought we would have learned from that. But a president that knew what happened with beavers in his time has not addressed that today. Is that not a monumental failure?
It isn't. It isn't. That's why I said, you see, probably before you joined us, she will agree. They will agree with me that I did mentioned, the inadequacies surrounding the president's electoral setup compared to what we had during 1993 election.
Yes, sir.
I said your thoughts are different from my thoughts.
Okay.
The president, we cannot sit down here. Like I said earlier, 365 days. He has not done this. He has not done. You can't do everything at once.
No.
Electoral reform.
Important thing. Today is a reminder of why he is able. Because
excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. That could happen. I told them. I said he has a 4 years mandate. What he has not done, we continue to remind him as Nigerians that President, you have not done this. But that does not forecloses the fact that the space to do those things are not, still very open.
Honorable, you see, I'm throwing the question to you honorably because
I'm coming.
To know, would there not be a priority for you and for us as a people? President we're talking about priorities now. If in 1 year down the line, listen, there's going to be local government elections soon. The states are going to abuse the process again and again. We're saying now that as a president who is aware that the most important, the key to democracy is how we get people into office, has not addressed that 1 year down the line. I'm asking you personally, is that not a failure? You've admitted one now.
It isn't a failure, I repeat.
Okay.
What is a failure to you might not be a failure to me.
I agree.
And let me take you.
Honorable. I'm talking about you now. Let's leave president aside.
Okay. Let me take you back. I said it isn't a failure. Let me take you back to 1993.
Okay.
Election. Local government. There were local government, state government, and National Assembly elections before the June 12 elections.
Exactly.
The electoral system differs. You understand?
Yes, sir.
The option A4 that was adopted for presidential election was unprecedented. I said it earlier.
Good.
That open election made it to be very fair. That system of option A4, the fact that you come out to queue behind your candidate, your preferred candidate, your preferred choice, made it quite different. But at the local government and state government elections, there were casting of ballots. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So it all depends. Electoral reforms, we had a military government arranging that. It's one step at a time. Local government elections, even presently, on Saturday, there was an election there was a local government election in a particular state, in Gombe. So it is the exclusive responsibility of state governors to determine local government election. And why I said I wouldn't agree with you, go back, check it. The president in the reforms that he has sent to the National Assembly, the amendments he has sent to the National Assembly, election reforms, election amendments, first part of what he has sent. But we have not taken time to check that.
Okay.
Electoral reforms are there.
In fact, in other words, but they were so quick to approve the national anthem. I had a very interesting video playing on social media now where people in the House of Rep are saying that the speed at which we used to process the national anthem, that you use it to process the minimum wage. This is where I'm coming to, the minimum wage. And then
the minimum wage, sir, don't let us be sentimental about certain issues. It's about welfare. It is not an exclusive responsibility of the National Assembly to determine the national minimum wage. A lot of processes. The critical stakeholders determines the minimum wage. The National Assembly can't sit down in their hallowed chamber and determine the national minimum wage. They cannot. It doesn't fall within the purview of their responsibilities. So Nigerians should be aware of the powers of different arm of government. The National Assembly can't do that. They can't just sit down in the hallowed chamber and say, oh, this is what the minimum wage, just the same way they did with the national anthem. No, because they are not the ones that will pay. They can determine the salaries of judges. They can determine the...
Anyway, Daddy Chris has signed that already because of
Sorry?
he's actually busy and all that. But Honorable, before we let you go, I bet my colleague Mary also will want to throw her questions. And we know that Nigerians are already reacting to the speech of the president on this very Democracy Day. Some termed it as history rather than tackling the issues, present issues. Yes, sometimes that he did not actually analyze or talked about, critical national issues rather than taking us back in time history. Anyway, I hope you see that script very soon. It's already everywhere. But
immediately after this program, I'll go.
Yes, but we do hope sincerely. I want Mary, we have one or two questions for you, sir.
Okay, whatever. I just want to ask this one question. Would you say there is true democracy today in the country?
How do you determine democracy? Listen, Mary, I can understand your pains, your feelings. I said it earlier, it's a mixed feelings. Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No. But we are heading towards that direction. Everything takes time. If you want to build, you start from the foundation before taking it up. But as far as I'm concerned, we are better off than the way we were yesterday. As a nation, we were better off. We may not have gotten all our, access rights, but we are not stagnated. We are moving. We are progressing. I just pray. I hope, sincerely, I hope, and I look forward to a better democratic nation called Nigeria. But it requires all of us, all hands to be on deck, to be supportive. Listen, cursing, saying negative words about our country is unpatriotic. I want to believe that our representatives, our elected representatives, we've given them mandates to speak and act on our behalf. Let's support them. The president has said he brought out a renewed hope agenda. There are over 220 million Nigerians. Those that believe in his manifesto voted in. That is why he's the president today.
Anyway,
If it is the military regime, hold on, please. If it is the military regime, you and I cannot come out and be saying all this. That is one aspect of democracy that is thriving, freedom of expression. But unbroken democracy in the last 25 years, we are not where we are supposed to be. There has been maladministration, misrepresentation, and misplacement of priorities. That has set us back. And it's unfortunate. Despite all the enablement, the resources at our disposal, we can do better as a nation for our democratic tendencies to thrive, for our people to feel the importance of being in a democratic nation.
Honorable, thank you so very much. We know that we're
You're
human,
welcome.
have a different opinion and different mindsets as well, and used to issues.
Of
And
course.
I would love you to be on the show again, maybe within this week or next week, when the boss, Daddy Chris, will be around the show, so that you can talk man to man, and we
Pro-
leave
pro-
issues.
Probably I'll be walking into your London studio next week because I'll be in UK next week. So probably I'll be
Next
walking into your
That
yeah,
is
I'll be
amazing. You can come to the studio. That would be very fantastic. That would be fantastic. I can't wait to have you around here. That would be amazing.
I'll be in UK
Anyway,
by God's grace on Tuesday. So
that would be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait. I will have to tell my boss that. Anyway, thank you so much. We know that in as much as we are, yearning, we are groaning, we are in pain. There's something the president has done that I'm actually applauding, and that will be the student loan. That is the only thing I've seen so far that I'm
the student loan,
yes.
you have seen one thing. That's nice. Mary,
But
what
I
about
saw
you?
it there. I was just waiting for you to say it, but you didn't say it. But that's my own
No,
personal,
you
yes,
see,
what I've seen so far that is
I did
applaudable.
not I did not I didn't want to isolate. That was why I said unity. You see, there is nothing compared to unity of the nation.
But
If
I
you are
know
not
that we are united as it were. A lot of quarters, a lot of people. But anyway, we'll go into that when we see you on the
it's
show.
sacrosanct, it is the most important thing.
In
It
fact, I
brings
tried
it
to
is the most
set you up on the show with my boss, inside Nigeria. I tried to show you we are on. Maybe when you come here in the studio, you can just be on the show with my boss. That would be amazing, sir.
okay. I'll be looking forward to that.
Thank you so much, Honorable, as we celebrate Nigeria's Democracy Day, and of course, our hero, MK Abiola, and other heroes of the past. We say happy celebration. Mary, I know you are not celebrating, and most of
She,
our people,
should I tell you why Mary should be celebrating? I
why?
witnessed it. Even before, upon the annulment of that June 12 election, a lot of people died on the streets of Lagos. I was part of it. I witnessed those killings live
Wow.
on the streets of Lagos, Ikorodu Road, Osho, name it. A lot of people were gone down. A lot of people sacrificed their lives for us to have what we are experiencing today. So it's people lay down their lives for us to have independence as a nation. That is why I said the unity of purpose. When you look at the contents, the wordings of the national anthem we have in today, it embodies what we are supposed to be as a nation, the vision of those who laid their lives. Are you with me? So that's why I always prioritize unity of purpose. We have every reason to celebrate. The Nigeria of our dreams, it was part of that anthem. The Nigeria of our dreams may not be done in my own lifetime, but I will pray. I will look forward to it coming in the lifetime of my children and my children's children. That's why I said the US, those who laid their lives for democracy to thrive in the UK, in the US, they are not alive. But wherever they are in their graves, they are relieved that their efforts, their labor.
Because of time, we could go on and on. But Mary can only celebrate when she has so much money. And Nigerians, like all the comments we've been seeing so far, people cannot be hungry and they are celebrating.
Definitely. That is understandable. That is understandable. So, Mary, all will be well.
Yes.
God bless you. All will be well.
All will be well. That is it.
You have your economic breakthrough.
Hey, Mary, they are praying for you. Nigerians, they like prayers.
Continue to strive.
Nigerians, we like prayers so much. So, Honorable is praying for you that all will be well. Anyway,
because I always like to see smiles on the faces of Nigerians, but when you go on the streets, those smiles are no longer there. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate.
Anyway, thank you so much. We've been on the show with Honorable Olusesan Dada.
Olusesan Dada.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
You've assassinated that name.
I've been trying to see how we pronounce it. He is one-time vice chairman in Ikorodu West, and he is one-time also councillor and chairman Lagos State Councillors
That's
Forum
last for
and a top aspirant for Ikorodu West LCDA election. Thank you so much. It would be nice to see
Thank
you
you so
next
much.
week.
Thanks
Do
for
have a
having me.
thank you.
Do enjoy your
Okay, Mary, let's go to the Mary. I know you are not happy the way you didn't ask questions today. You are just done, you are not celebrating. Don't worry, like 100% all will be well. So let's believe all will be well. Let's quickly go to the papers today, Mary. Let's take one or two paper and we'll wrap up the show because of time. We were actually on the Vanguard newspaper. Let's go to the Vanguard. Let's see what Vanguard is telling us today.
Okay, the big story on the Vanguard, June 12th. Current challenges being used to impair democracy, coming from Tinubu. And the writer says it's time to build nation where every voice is heard, citizen empowered, democracy yet to deliver prosperity, liberty to Nigerians. This coming from article. Adds unity among opposition parties. Key to democracy survival. PDP accuses APC of desecrating Abiola's legacy. Says Nigerians
Oh,
angry over hardship. Nigerians yet to enjoy basic amenities. This coming from
that's the question I would have want the honorable to answer. That one on the rider on the headline there.
okay.
How
As
do
it
they
tells,
feel that APC is desecrating, Abiola's dynasty or legacy? Anyway, continue, Mary.
Nigerians still bleeding over bad governance. CSO as federal government declares June 12 public holiday. And there's a story here that says Governor Abiodun orders the renovation of Abiola's house. DSS draws red line on protests. And you can find all the story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then we'll have another story that says, please, military attitude to banditry frustrating. This is coming from Zamfara governor. And here we have a story that says, Rivers Court didn't declare 25 lawmakers PDP members. This is coming from court documents. Dangote refinery postponed commencement of petrol supply to July. And that story is on page 42 of the Vanguard. 24 senators without bill. Bills not only yardstick for assessing lawmakers,
It
they
is so.
are
It
others.
is.
And that's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. 2026 World Cup qualifier. Savages, Finidi, players, NFF. And that story is on page 47 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then we'll have a story that says cholera outbreak. 5 died, 60 hospitalized in Lagos. And that story is on page 6. Why foreign investments aren't driving economic development in Nigeria. This coming from Mugalu. And that's on page 10. Jonathan to Tinubu. Build democracy that will reduce frictions. And that story is on page 8. These are all the stories we have this morning on the Vanguard.
And on the sport decks, we saw 2026 World Cup qualifier Soje, Savages, Finidi, and players, NFF. There's a story here that actually caught my attention, Mary. This story here that says a Dangote refinery postponed commencement of petrol supply to July. I don't want that postponement. To Nigerians are already greening. I beg. We are. Do you know how the expectations was so high? Have been so high. Nigerians are actually praying that let this thing come. Maybe that will reduce the fuel a little. And now we're not seeing that they are postponing. Please, they should not postpone. They should start supply immediately. I don't understand Dangote. When he actually launched this refinery, I think during was it in January? He did say it was last year. What am I last year? He
That's
did say
supposed to start last year, August. They postponed it till now. They are still postponing. I thought they started working already. I don't know why the postponement again.
that is not a good thing because Nigeria actually need Dangote at this point in time. They need this supply. maybe Nigerians are going to get a little relief when that supplies when they commence supply from Dangote's refinery. Anyway, 24 senators with that bills not only yardstick for assessing lawmakers, LP others. That is the yardstick. If they cannot pass bill, what are they doing there? They are representing a people. They are supposed to be representatives. They are not just there to, comment to comment on others people's bill, because those people actually belong to another constituency. So I don't understand why people will be here a whole year without commencing, without saying a word. It is actually very shameful.
Yeah.
And then also we saw a story here that says current challenges being used to impair democracy. Of course, that is coming from your president. And there's a story here that says police, military's attitude toward banditry frustrating. That is coming from Zamfara governor. And maybe that's why we're yearning for state police. Now, when the police are under the governor, the governors can give commands. The governors can now understand that, okay, this is my state. Insecurity cannot savage or ravage my state under my watch, and they will be prone to do something. Credit to the governors, Mary. Over 2 weeks now, we've been seeing different governors, especially from the north, coming to cry about insecurity. That means they're actually willing to fight. And so just imagine we have state police. This also will aid their effort, in curbing insecurity. So I
That's
think that state police, I saw the meeting that was held in Lagos 2 days ago by the Western governors. That is something they are, because they are all in on state police. So any governor that is saying going against state police is actually a kidnapper. That is how we're going to term them here on the show, Mary. Once they refuse that there should not be state police, then we know that they are kidnappers. Anyway, we move quickly now to other stories we have, and let's quickly go back, to let's go back to the Punch. Did you take the Punch?
and that was his first story, I think.
Okay, you took the Punch, and then we took the Guardian as well. And so let's go to
Okay,
let's pick.
it was Guardian we took before the guest came in. I'm not sure.
Okay,
It's Punch. Yeah.
okay, go quickly to Daily Trust.
Okay. Tinubu may reshuffle cabinet, create new ministry. Some ministers to go. I'll send bill on minimum wage to National Assembly soon. Coming from Tinubu. Jonathan, National Assembly should consider best model of government for Nigeria. And that's on page 13. Truth under fire. The multi-front assault on facts during the 2023 Nigerian election. And that story is on page 32. Minister seeks probe of PAMSEC over alleged sexual harassment. She wants to destroy man of integrity. And that story is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. I think these are all the stories you have this morning on the Daily Trust.
Anyway, I think some ministers should go. Mary, what do you think? They
They
should
should.
go.
Let's see if the new ones will work. Because all these ones have been there. I don't know what they have been doing.
I don't understand some of these our ministers, Mary. Do you know that you don't hear about them? During Jonathan, then I used to go on briefing from different ministries, ministers briefing. This is what we're about to embark on, hearing from people, town hall meetings, press briefing with the press. But now they are so dormant, they are not doing anything, they are just there. Somebody will come here and start defending them, defending their failures. Anyway, I'm happy that the president is actually sending some back to their villages. They should go and others should come. Who is not
Yeah.
willing to work? They should be sent packing. That is it. If they are not willing to work, then go home. Go. You don't need to, because if you are not active, why are you here in the office? You cannot just be answering the names a minister without, doing nothing.
That's coming to the office as well.
They don't even come to the office. Go to Eagle Square, where you have most of their offices. You see minister coming to work once in a week, once in 2 weeks, once in a month, and the workers are actually aware that minister will be coming and everywhere will be kept very clean. And after that, for a long period, you don't see them. They have meetings in their homes. They don't even use their offices. And then I give it to Wike. Wike is actually trying when it comes to that. I know Wike used to go to the office. Somebody told me that from the ministry that he comes around all the time. He doesn't even tell you that he's
Always
coming. He
at
just walks
FCT.
in. You
He's
said
always at he's always at FCT. He's always coming there. FCT. Yeah.
that is a good one. But others, we know that some of them are not functioning. Some of them are they live abroad. They are in their villas. They have their meetings, closed door meetings in their homes. This is not good for the economy. And I'm even more frustrated today that the president, while addressing the nation, did not say anything about this. He took us back to history, Nigerians. The man was reading history, greeting Shoika, greeting this Yoruba man, greeting that one. What does that have to do with us? You are supposed to tell us today is Democracy Day, today is June 12th. Tackle issues. On the issue of security, we are doing this, and on the issue of, the economy, we're doing this. The issue of education, we're doing this. On the issue of health, these are what Nigerians want to hear. Don't come and tell us stories that we already know. Well, I studied history in secondary school. We did history. We know about Abiola. Even though I was not there, I knew about him. Everybody did history. So coming to tell us history today on June 12th, it is not a good thing, Mary. I want you to go and look that the statement or the press release of the president, and you will be shocked of what the man was telling us, talking about history, what happened years ago. We know that actually led to this very day, but you're supposed to tackle issues, current issues, troubling us as a nation, as the president. Anyway, I think that kudos to Buhari. I think Buhari press release is more weighting than this one, because we know they used to write for them now, but who actually wrote for that one? No
Right.
waiting they do as this one, because this one just go copy history, can't tell us nothing to resolve, nothing to talk about. Anyway, go quickly to the spot because of time. Today's Democracy Day. That's why we spend so much time. Mary, what's happening with your Super Eagles? We saw that the coach from the other people they play with, they say Super Eagles confident of win after they scored the first goal, and maybe that made them actually feel relaxed and feel superpower. We are winning. Before you knew what was happening, they actually were on the ground, and so the man is actually laughing at them. Who laughs last always? Who laughs last always laugh the best.
Nigerians,
As
they now put more effort. There's nothing that will laugh. If they not put effort, it's the same thing. They will not go anywhere. Because that's just the truth. There's one thing our Super Eagles normally do. If they happen to score goal, you see them relenting. It's one problem that they have. But if they have not scored, they'll put all their energies. But once they score, it's even more scary. Anytime Nigeria first of all score a goal in the match, just know that there's a problem, because they'll end up relenting. So that is what they do. So even if he's laughing at us, if we don't put effort, there is nothing we can do to change the system. This one is a football game. Oh. It's not like other things. This one is a football game. So they need to actually pick up from the coach. Finidi should change the system and do something so that they will not keep laughing at us. Because if we don't do the needful, they will keep laughing. And that's just it. That's just the
And
truth.
look at this story here, Mary, that says Eagles rooted fifth after Rwanda, South Africa's win. Now we are on the fifth position. Is that helpful?
Yeah. If they're able to defeat Rwanda, sure they will stay. But the thing is, with this system, with the way it's going, can Eagles even win any club? That's the problem. Can they win any club
Or
as
maybe, or maybe, Mary, it's high time we bring in Osime and the rest, Lookman, for this other match. Don't you think that will help?
Okay, I think I later made the inquiries and I noticed that it seems the Osimhen they just finished their own match from their club, their league. So it seems they needed to rest. They needed to rest. That is why they couldn't meet up in the match. So I don't know. I don't know, but God will help us though.
Anyway, it is not God, though. God, like Daddy Chris will say, God is the God of other club too, so other country. So God, we should not bring God into football. Is either they work hard, they put their houses tight, their defense and everything, and they win, or we come back home as usual. They will laugh at us, like many will say they should not laugh.
I will laugh. No, they're not doing anything. They keep on laughing at us.
Anyway, thank you, Mary, for being on the show, and thank to our guests. Honorable Dada. Let me not use the other name because I actually murdered that name. Honorable Dada and Daddy Chris for being on the show. Happy Democracy Day, Nigerians. Whether or not we have anything to celebrate or to be happy about, I think for being alive, for being here today, we should be happy as well. Like the man said, let's keep hope alive. It will get better. And thanks to our heroes of the past, MKO, and the rest who actually did us well, they did very well. They've actually, brought us this democracy, which we enjoy and talk about today. And so we say kudos and well done to them. Thank you, viewers, for being on the show today. It has been an amazing morning. Thank you for your comments and thank you for your opinions as well. Do well to follow us on our social media handles. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and of course, YouTube. Subscribe, hit on the notification bell, and leave us with your comments. We would love to hear from you. Do not forget our magazine. This last month edition is out. You can showcase your products, your brand, your amazing self and career. Just a call and we'll be there for you. And of course, our logistics in Abuja is available. Just a call and we'll deliver to your doorstep very quickly and promptly too. And our apartments across Abuja, Lagos, and of course, London. It's available, where you can have your conferences, your meetings, your party, birthdays, bridal showers, bachelor's eve and all kind of parties. You can do holidays as well, your family and all that. And we have Wi-Fi, we have a well-furnished apartment and cars to help you explore the cities as well. So do well to chill, remove some more money in a democracy day. Thank God it's holiday, come out, nothing but luxury premium. Come out and enjoy yourself. I have learned something from my mother's death that the one when you get that chop am, because when you needed to see the way they were dragging my mother's things, family. So chop the one when you fit chop now, because when you don't buy, when you don't die, you will not even know what is happening again. People, ungrateful people that were not there will just come and want to be dragging, taking things. So please enjoy yourself now that you still have the life and you have the money, no matter how little. Just reach out to us today and book with us, and you will have the amazing time, fun of your life. And don't forget our Nigerian week that is fast approaching. It's going to be a week full of activities. We have the Nigerian film screening. We have the Nigerian food show. We'll be talking about the real estate, agriculture in Nigeria, and of course, we'll be the award ceremony as well, where we celebrate people who have been very impactful and people who are leaders and mentors who have done very well in our time and in our society. So do well, please, to be partner and of course be the sponsor. You can sponsor as well. And you know that even if you are not here in Nigeria, you can be there and your product is here reckoning, mixing up with the world. The world is not a global village. You don't want to do just in Nigeria, people can actually patronize you. So this will be a right platform for you to actually showcase your amazing self and of course your amazing brand to the world. Mary, is a democracy day. What you have to say before we go?
Nigerians, be hopeful. Even though we don't have anything to celebrate right now, I don't see any reason of celebrating democracy. What I mean by let's be hopeful that next year there will be need to celebrate, because it's really sad that we're celebrating democracy, as they said, and a lot of sad news here and there. So that is why I say it's not worth celebrating, but let's be hopeful for better days. And for those that are at home, enjoy yourself and make use of this day positively. That's what I have to say.
Enjoy yourself and keep hope alive, keep hope alive. I'll leave you with the words of Mary and of course our dear guest, keep hope alive. We do this again tomorrow. I remain yours truly, Princess Cassie.
Looking for a home away from home in Abuja? Look no further than SRTV Shortlet Apartments. Our fully furnished apartments offers everything you need for a comfortable and relaxing stay. Unwind in spacious rooms with exquisite ambience. Cook delicious meals in our well-equipped kitchen and relax in our comfortable sitting rooms watching your favorite shows. And guess what? 247 Wi-Fi available. But that's not all. SRTV goes extra mile by providing a car to take you around town during your stay. No need to worry about navigating public transportation or hailing taxis. Explore Abuja at your own pace. Book your SRTV Shortlet apartment today and experience the perfect blend of comfort and convenience. You can reach us by calling this number 07062379915 or 080708273. Ooh la la! The second edition of the Nigerian Week London 2024 is here.
It's another blend of arts and culture, entertainment, business, and networking activities.
A week-long extravaganza showcasing the best of Nigerian music, dance, craft, fashion, and businesses.
Taking place at the prestigious Lighthouse Theatre, 262-274 Camberwell Road, London, SE5. OAY. Date 22nd to 28 July 2024.
Tickets are available at everbright.com. For partnership and sponsorship, please visit superiorradioandtelevision.com
or call +4407 459 513 619 or +4420 3623 8755.
Email info@superiorradioandtelevision.com or visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com/Nigerian Week 2024.
Come and experience a nation's culture that resides